And that brings you to this moment, where something within you pauses, because you can feel it, something is shifting. My beloved child, your soulmate is standing at a crossroads right now, and the decision before them is not small, not simple, and not without consequence. It touches your future together, the path you will walk, and the love you have been holding onto through uncertainty. You have sensed it, haven't you? That quiet tension, that distance that cannot be fully explained. Silence has been speaking louder than words, and it has left you wondering what they are truly feeling. There is a battle unfolding inside them between fear and commitment, between retreating into what feels safe and stepping forward into what feels destined. And you, without seeing the full picture, have been feeling the weight of that battle in your own heart. You question, you replay moments, you search for signs, trying to understand what has changed. But what if I told you that this moment is not random, and neither is your awareness of it? You were guided here because timing matters. Because right now, as you listen, something is reaching a turning point. Their choice is forming, even if it has not yet been spoken aloud. And still, there is something hidden beneath the surface, something influencing their thoughts, their hesitation, their silence. So ask yourself this gently, what is it that they are facing that you have not yet seen? What fear, what pressure, what unseen weight is shaping their decision in ways you cannot yet understand? Stay with me, because what is about to be revealed will begin to make sense of everything you have been feeling. And even now, part of you wants to brace for disappointment, while another part quietly hopes for clarity and truth. You are standing between doubt and trust, and it feels like time is stretching longer than it should. But listen closely, because in the next moment, you will begin to understand what has been moving behind the scenes of this connection. And why this moment matters more than you realize. Now listen closely, because this is where everything begins to slow down for you. You have been carrying so many thoughts, so many questions, and so much emotional weight that your spirit has been longing for a moment like this. A moment where you can simply breathe, release the tension in your chest, and allow yourself to be still. Take a gentle breath in, and let it out slowly. Feel the shift that happens when you stop trying to solve everything all at once. Because clarity does not come through force, it comes through stillness. And right now, you are being invited into that stillness for a reason. My beloved child, this message is not random. You did not arrive here by accident, and you are not imagining the pull you felt to stop and listen. There is a reason your heart has been restless, and there is a reason this moment found you now, not later. You may have been questioning everything lately, wondering if you misread the connection, if you hoped too much, or if you should begin to let go. That is the tension between doubt and divine timing. Doubt tells you that something has gone wrong. But divine timing whispers that something is being prepared. What if your confusion is not a sign of loss, but a sign that something deeper is aligning? What if the silence you have been feeling is not rejection, but a pause before clarity arrives? Stay with that question, because it holds more truth than you realize. Right now, you do not need to chase answers or force outcomes. You only need to be present, to receive what is being shown to you in this quiet space. Because something has been unfolding behind the scenes, something you could not see before this moment. And as you remain here, open and willing, you will begin to sense that this is only the beginning of understanding. Because in the next part, you are going to see what has truly been happening beneath everything you have been feeling. Do not rush away from this stillness, even if part of you feels uncomfortable sitting with it. Sometimes the noise fades only so that truth can rise. And truth does not shout at you, it meets you gently, in the quiet places you often avoid. You are safe to slow down here. You are safe to feel without needing immediate answers. And you are safe to trust that something greater than your current understanding is guiding this moment. So stay with me just a little longer, because what is about to be revealed will begin to bring together the pieces you could not connect before now. And now you begin to see why your heart has been feeling so heavy, because what you have been carrying has not been small. My beloved child, you have been strong for longer than most people realize. You have been holding emotions that you rarely speak out loud, trying to stay composed while something inside you keeps asking the same quiet questions over and over again. You have waited in silence, haven't you? Waiting for clarity, waiting for reassurance, waiting for them to meet you with the same depth you have been offering so freely. And in that waiting, your mind has not been still. It has been racing, replaying conversations, analyzing pauses, searching for meaning in every little shift. You have tried to understand what they feel without being told, and that effort has exhausted you more than you admit. To the outside world, you may appear calm, patient, even unbothered. You smile, you carry on, you show up as someone who seems in control. But internally, it is a very different story. Inside, there are moments of doubt that creep in late at night, moments where your heart feels tight with uncertainty, moments where you wonder if you are holding on to something that may never fully return to you in the way you hoped. That contrast, between what you show and what you feel, has been one of your heaviest burdens. Because it is lonely to carry love that feels unseen. It is confusing to give so much of your heart while questioning if it is truly being received. And yet, hear this clearly, your love has been real. It has not been imagined, exaggerated, or misplaced. The way you have cared, the way you have stayed, the way you have believed in this connection even when it became difficult, that has all come from a genuine place within you. Do not let doubt rewrite the truth of your own heart. But here is where the pain deepens, because even though your love has been real, it has not always been reflected back to you with the same clarity or consistency. That imbalance has created confusion. It has made you question not only them, but yourself. You have wondered if you did too much, if you expected too much, or if you misunderstood everything from the beginning. There have been moments where you felt close to walking away, and yet something kept pulling you back. Not out of weakness, but because part of you still recognizes something meaningful here. Something that has not fully revealed itself, even through the uncertainty. So you remain in this space between holding on and letting go, between hope and hesitation. And that space is where emotional exhaustion grows. Because it is not just about love, it is about not knowing where you truly stand. And now a deeper question begins to rise within you, one that you may have avoided facing directly. If your love is real, if your intentions have been pure, then why has this connection felt so uncertain for so long? Why has something that feels so meaningful also felt so unstable at times? Why has clarity seemed just out of reach, no matter how much you have tried to understand? Stay with that question, because the answer is not what you think it is. And what you are about to uncover next will begin to reveal the hidden forces that have been shaping this connection in ways you could not see before. And now we come to the part where the hidden layers begin to unfold, where what once felt confusing starts to take shape. My beloved child, what has been blocking this connection has not been a lack of feeling, and it has not been your worth. It has been a combination of forces, internal and external, that have quietly delayed what your heart has been reaching for. There has been fear, deep and unspoken. Not just fear of love, but fear of responsibility, fear of vulnerability, fear of stepping into something that would require them to grow beyond who they have been. This kind of fear does not always announce itself clearly. Instead, it hides behind hesitation, mixed signals, and moments of withdrawal that leave you questioning everything. Alongside that fear, there have been external pressures, circumstances, expectations, opinions, and responsibilities that have weighed heavily on their mind. These pressures have made it difficult for them to fully choose what their heart may already feel. Because sometimes, what feels right emotionally does not feel easy practically, and that conflict has kept them stuck. And then there are past wounds. Experiences they have not fully healed from, memories that have shaped how they respond to closeness, patterns they may not even realize they are repeating. These wounds create walls, and those walls have stood between you and the clarity you have been seeking. Finally, there has been timing. Not because your connection is wrong, but because alignment has not yet fully settled into place. Timing can feel like rejection when you are in the middle of waiting, but often it is simply preparation unfolding at a pace you cannot control. All of these factors together have created delay. Not denial, but delay. And that delay has felt heavy, confusing, and at times deeply discouraging. But now, something is shifting. Quietly, almost beneath the surface, there is movement happening. Internally, within them, there is a growing awareness, an understanding that can no longer be ignored. The same fears that once held them back are beginning to lose their grip. The same questions they avoided are now rising to the surface, asking for answers. And not only within them, but around you, there is a shift in energy. Situations are changing, perspectives are adjusting, and the pressure that once clouded everything is beginning to loosen. What felt stuck is starting to move, even if it is not yet visible in obvious ways. This is where the contrast becomes clear. What once felt like endless delay is now moving toward acceleration. What once felt blocked is now beginning to open. But here is what you must understand: this shift does not happen randomly. Something has triggered it. Something has brought them to this point where they can no longer remain in the same place they have been. It may be a realization, a moment of clarity, or a quiet understanding that they are at risk of losing something meaningful if they do not act. And this is where the tension deepens, because as things begin to shift, the decision becomes unavoidable. They can no longer stay in between. They must choose, to step forward into truth and commitment, or to retreat back into fear and distance. So now you stand on the edge of this change, feeling that something is different but not yet fully knowing what it will lead to. And the question that remains is this: what exactly has triggered this shift within them, and how will it shape the choice they are about to make? Because what comes next will not only reveal the nature of this change, but also show you how protected you have been through it all. And now you are ready to understand something deeper, something that will begin to change how you see everything that has happened. My beloved child, not every delay you have experienced was meant to hurt you. Not every moment of distance was rejection. Some of it was protection, even when it did not feel like it at the time. There are moments in your life when what you desire is not immediately given, not because it is being withheld from you, but because something unseen is being guarded on your behalf. You have been looking at this connection through the lens of loss and confusion, but there has also been a layer of shielding that you could not see. There has been resistance, yes. But not all resistance comes to destroy. Some resistance exists to prevent what is not ready from breaking what is still forming. What you felt as obstruction may have been a barrier placed to keep timing aligned, to keep hearts from colliding in a way that would cause deeper wounds instead of healing. Think back to the moments that felt like rejection. The silence, the hesitation, the times when things seemed to fall apart just as they were about to come together. You interpreted those moments as something going wrong, as something slipping away from you. But what if, in those very moments, you were being redirected? Redirection does not always feel gentle. Sometimes it feels like loss, like confusion, like doors closing without explanation. But redirection is not meant to harm you. It is meant to guide you away from outcomes that are not aligned with your highest good at that time. This is where discernment becomes important. Not every closed door is a final ending, and not every open door is meant to be walked through immediately. Discernment allows you to see beyond the surface, to recognize the difference between something that is being removed and something that is simply being delayed. You are being invited to look at your past through a different lens. Instead of asking, "Why was this taken from me?" begin to ask, "What was I being protected from, or prepared for?" That question will begin to shift how you understand everything. Because there were things you could not see, emotional instability, unresolved patterns, pressures that would have affected both of you in ways you were not ready to handle together. If everything had moved forward when you first desired it, would it have truly been stable? Or would it have collapsed under the weight of what was still unhealed? Protection often feels like interruption. But interruption is not always loss. Sometimes it is preservation. And even now, as things begin to shift again, that same protection has not left you. It is still present, still guiding, still filtering what is allowed to come close to you and what must remain at a distance. But here is where your awareness matters most. Because as movement begins again, you must be able to recognize what is aligned and what is not. You must learn to trust not just what you feel, but what is consistent, what is clear, and what brings peace rather than confusion. So ask yourself this honestly: when you think about this connection now, do you feel a quiet sense of alignment beneath the uncertainty, or do you feel constant unrest? That answer will begin to reveal more than you expect. Because the question is no longer just about whether this connection exists. The question now is deeper: is this connection still protected, still guided, still meant to move forward? Stay with that question, because what comes next will bring you face to face with your own role in what unfolds from here. And now you arrive at the moment where everything begins to turn, not because of what they will do, but because of what you are about to choose. My beloved child, this is where your power has always been, even when it felt like everything depended on them. Their decision matters, yes, but your alignment matters just as much, because what you hold within you shapes what you allow, what you attract, and what you ultimately receive. You have been standing between two paths, even if you have not named them clearly. One path is rooted in fear, the fear of losing them, the fear of not being chosen, the fear that this connection may not become what you hoped. That fear has been guiding your thoughts, your reactions, and even your silence at times. It has caused you to hold on tighter, to overanalyze more deeply, to question your own worth when things felt uncertain. The other path is alignment. And alignment does not mean pretending everything is perfect or ignoring your emotions. It means choosing to stand in your truth, in your value, and in your peace regardless of what they decide. It means recognizing that you are not defined by their hesitation, and you are not diminished by their confusion. This is where the tension between control and surrender becomes clear. Control tells you to fix, to chase, to make something happen before it slips away. Surrender invites you to trust, to release what you cannot force, and to allow what is meant for you to come into clarity without pressure. But surrender is often misunderstood. It is not giving up. It is not becoming passive. It is choosing to let go of fear while still standing firm in your worth. It is saying, I will not abandon myself in order to hold on to something that is uncertain. And here is something you must understand deeply: your energy influences more than you realize. The way you hold this connection, the way you see yourself within it, the way you respond to uncertainty, all of this creates a space that either invites clarity or feeds confusion. If you remain in fear, you stay connected to the same cycle of doubt and waiting. But if you shift into alignment, something changes. You begin to create a different atmosphere, one where truth becomes necessary, where avoidance becomes uncomfortable, where decisions can no longer be delayed indefinitely. This is why your choice matters right now. Not later, not after they decide, but now. So ask yourself honestly, are you holding on to this connection from a place of fear, or are you standing in it from a place of self-respect and trust? Are you trying to control the outcome, or are you allowing space for the truth to reveal itself? Because the moment you choose alignment, you send a signal, not just to them, but to everything surrounding this connection. You signal that you are ready for clarity, ready for honesty, ready for something real and stable. And that is where things begin to shift more visibly. You may not see it immediately, but something within them responds to that change. Because when you stop carrying the weight of uncertainty, it forces them to face their own. So now the choice is before you, clear and unavoidable. Will you continue to hold on to fear, or will you step fully into alignment with who you truly are? Stay with that, because what comes next will show you exactly how to move forward in a way that protects your peace while preparing you for what is about to unfold. And now that you have seen the importance of your choice, you are ready for something grounded, something you can actually do as this situation continues to unfold. My beloved child, alignment is not only a feeling, it is something you practice through your actions, your boundaries, and the way you respond to uncertainty. What you do next will not be about controlling them, but about stabilizing yourself. The first step is to create emotional boundaries. This does not mean shutting your heart down or pretending you do not care. It means no longer allowing your peace to rise and fall based on their silence or attention. When you notice yourself checking constantly, waiting for messages, or tying your mood to their actions, gently pull your energy back. Reaction keeps you entangled in confusion, but intention brings you back into control of your inner world. The second step is releasing anxious behaviors. You have been trying to find certainty through overthinking, through analyzing every detail, through searching for hidden meanings in everything they say or do. But this has only deepened your exhaustion. Instead, begin to notice when your mind starts to spiral, and pause. Replace the urge to overanalyze with a simple truth. What is meant to be clear will become clear without force. Fear demands immediate answers, but clarity arrives with patience. The third step is reconnecting with your purpose outside of this connection. You are more than this relationship, more than this waiting, more than this emotional tension. There are parts of your life that have been calling for your attention, your growth, your creativity, your goals, your sense of self. When you shift your focus back to these areas, something powerful happens. You stop orbiting around uncertainty, and you begin to stand firmly in your own life again. The fourth step is strengthening your inner peace. Peace is not something that appears once everything is resolved. It is something you cultivate even while things are still unclear. Create small moments of stillness in your day, moments where you are not seeking answers, but simply being present. In those moments, you begin to feel the difference between chaos and calm, between pressure and trust. And the more you choose peace, the less control fear has over you. The fifth step is choosing consistent self-respect. This means honoring your feelings without letting them lead you into self-doubt. It means recognizing when something feels off and allowing yourself to acknowledge it without immediately excusing it. It means understanding that you deserve clarity, consistency, and honesty, not someday, but as a standard. Each of these steps brings you back to the same contrast: reaction versus intention, fear versus clarity. Reaction pulls you outward, into confusion and waiting. Intention brings you inward, into stability and strength. And here is what you must remember as you begin to practice these steps: your stability does not depend on their decision. Whether they move forward, hesitate, or take time to understand their own feelings, you are no longer required to lose yourself in the process. This is how you protect your peace while still allowing space for truth to emerge. And as you begin to embody this, something shifts not only within you, but around you. Because when you are no longer reacting from fear, the dynamic itself begins to change. You create an environment where clarity becomes necessary, where avoidance cannot continue in the same way. So stay committed to these steps, even when it feels unfamiliar at first. Alignment is built through consistency, not perfection. And as you continue in this way, you will soon feel ready for something deeper, a moment of connection where your voice, your intention, and your faith come together in a powerful declaration that begins to reshape everything within you. And now, as you stand more grounded within yourself, this is the moment to speak, not from fear, but from faith. My beloved child, your voice carries more power than you have been using. What you declare in alignment shapes what you allow, what you release, and what you invite into your life. So do not remain silent here. Let this become a moment where your spirit rises and speaks truth over everything that has felt uncertain. Take a slow breath, and if you are able, say this within your heart or out loud: I choose peace over confusion. I release the need to control what I cannot force. Feel the difference in those words. Fear clings tightly, but faith opens gently. Now continue: I am not defined by silence. I am worthy of clarity, honesty, and mutual love. Let that settle within you, because for too long you have questioned your worth based on what has not been expressed. But today, you shift that pattern. Say this next: What is meant for me will not pass me by. What is aligned with me will come into truth. Notice how your energy begins to change when you stop chasing and start declaring. You are no longer asking from a place of lack. You are standing in a place of knowing. Now bring your focus to this connection and say, if this bond is meant to grow, let it be guided with clarity and courage. If it is not aligned, let it be released with peace and understanding. This is where faith becomes stronger than fear. Because fear demands a specific outcome, but faith trusts the right outcome. Continue gently. I release anxious thoughts. I release overthinking. I release the need for immediate answers. And then affirm, I trust that what is unfolding is leading me toward truth. Take another breath here. Let your body relax as you say, I am safe to wait without losing myself. I am strong enough to receive clarity when it arrives. You are not powerless in this moment. You are participating in your own alignment. Now speak this with intention. I call in peace where there has been tension. I call in clarity where there has been confusion. I call in truth where there has been silence. Feel the shift. Even if it is subtle, something is moving within you. And now, place your hand over your heart if you can, and say, I choose faith over fear. I choose trust over doubt. I choose alignment over attachment. Stay with that for a moment. Because every time you repeat these truths, you are creating space within yourself for something new to take root. You are loosening the grip of uncertainty and strengthening your connection to peace. And here is what you may begin to notice. After you declare these things, something inside you becomes quieter. Not because everything is solved, but because you are no longer fighting yourself. So ask yourself gently, what is shifting within me right now? Is it a sense of calm, even if small? Is it a release of pressure? Is it the beginning of trust returning to you? Do not rush past that. That inner shift matters more than you realize, because it is the foundation for everything that comes next. Stay present in this feeling, because in the next part, you are going to begin recognizing the subtle signs that show you what is truly unfolding around you. And now, as your spirit begins to settle, you are ready to notice what has been there all along, quietly forming beneath the surface. My beloved child, signs do not always arrive with noise or urgency. They rarely come in the dramatic ways you have imagined. More often, they unfold gently, almost unnoticed at first, and that is why so many overlook them. You have been looking for certainty in obvious places, expecting clear declarations or sudden changes. But confirmation often reveals itself through patterns, through small shifts that repeat and grow stronger over time. Pay attention to what is consistent, not just what is intense. You may begin to notice subtle changes in communication. Not necessarily grand gestures, but a different tone, a deeper presence, a willingness to engage where there was once distance. These shifts may seem small, but they carry meaning. Because real movement does not always announce itself loudly, it shows itself through steady change. You may also notice something within yourself. A quiet sense of peace appearing where there was once constant tension. Moments where you are no longer consumed by overthinking, where your thoughts feel lighter, where your heart is not racing to find answers. This is not something to ignore. Inner peace is often one of the clearest forms of confirmation. There may also be moments of clarity that come unexpectedly. A realization that settles into your mind without force, helping you understand something you could not see before. These moments do not create confusion. They bring simplicity, even if the situation itself is still unfolding. Now here is where the contrast becomes important. Confusion is loud, restless, and demanding. It pulls you in different directions and leaves you feeling unsettled. Confirmation, on the other hand, is quiet, steady, and grounding. It does not rush you. It does not pressure you. It allows you to breathe. So when you are observing what is happening, ask yourself, does this bring me closer to peace, or does it pull me deeper into confusion? That question will guide you more clearly than overanalyzing every detail. But listen carefully, this is not about promising a specific outcome. It is not about guaranteeing that everything will unfold exactly as you hope. It is about helping you recognize what is real, what is aligned, and what is moving toward truth. Because sometimes confirmation does not mean continuation. Sometimes it means clarity about what needs to change, or what needs to be released. And that clarity, even when it is difficult, is still a form of guidance. So remain open, but also remain grounded. Do not chase signs. Allow them to come naturally, and observe them without forcing meaning onto every moment. And as you do this, something within you will begin to sharpen. Your awareness will grow. Your ability to sense what is aligned and what is not will become clearer. And then, when the signs do appear more clearly, you will not have to question them in the same way. But the question that remains is this: when clarity finally stands in front of you, quiet and unmistakable, will you recognize it for what it is? Stay with that, because what comes next will show you not just what to notice, but what it could look like when everything begins to open and align in a way you can finally feel. And now, as your awareness becomes clearer, you are ready to see what this can become when everything aligns as it should. My beloved child, this is not about forcing an outcome, but about allowing yourself to gently imagine what peace would feel like if it were fully present in this connection. Close your eyes for a moment, if you can, and picture a version of this situation where the tension has softened. Where the confusion that once filled your thoughts has been replaced with understanding. Conversations are no longer strained or uncertain. They flow naturally, without you having to question what is being said or left unsaid. You are no longer reading between the lines, searching for hidden meanings. Instead, there is clarity. Words are matched with actions. Intentions are expressed without hesitation. And in that space, something within you finally relaxes. This is the difference between chaos and calm. You have known what chaos feels like, the racing thoughts, the emotional highs and lows, the constant wondering. But now, imagine calm. Imagine waking up without that weight in your chest, without the need to check, to analyze, to question. In this vision, you feel secure, not because everything is perfect, but because everything is clear. There is mutual understanding, a shared direction, a sense that both of you are standing on the same ground rather than reaching from opposite sides. Picture a conversation where honesty is present. Where what has been held back is finally spoken. Where fears are acknowledged, but no longer in control. In that moment, you are not guessing how they feel, you know. And notice how you show up in this space. You are not anxious. You are not trying to prove your worth or hold everything together. You are simply present, steady, and open, because you no longer feel like something is slipping away. This is what alignment feels like. It does not create pressure. It removes it. Now allow that vision to expand. See doors opening that once felt closed. Opportunities for growth, for connection, for something deeper that could not happen before because the foundation was not ready. Everything begins to make sense, not all at once, but in a way that feels natural and grounded. You begin to understand why things did not move earlier, why delays existed, why certain moments unfolded the way they did. What once felt confusing now feels like preparation. And in that understanding, there is peace. But here is where you must be honest with yourself. Because receiving this kind of clarity, this kind of stability, requires something from you as well. It requires that you release the fear you have been holding on to. It requires that you trust what is in front of you without constantly looking for what might go wrong. So ask yourself gently, without judgment, if this piece were placed in your hands right now, would you be ready to receive it fully? Or would part of you still hold on to doubt, still expect confusion, still prepare for things to fall apart? This question matters more than you realize, because sometimes what you have become used to can feel safer than what is actually meant for you. Stay with that thought, because what comes next will invite you to step out of isolation and into a shared space where your voice, your faith, and your presence connect with others walking a similar path. And now, as you hold this vision and begin to feel that quiet shift within you, you are not meant to carry it alone. My beloved child, what you are walking through may feel deeply personal, but you are not the only one standing in this space between uncertainty and clarity. There are others who understand this exact feeling, others who are learning the same lessons, releasing the same fears, and stepping into the same alignment. This is where isolation begins to loosen its grip. Because when you speak your intention, even in a simple way, something changes. You move from holding everything inside to allowing your voice to take part in something greater. If this message has reached your heart, I invite you to take a small but meaningful step. You can type Amen as a sign of agreement, as a quiet declaration that you are choosing peace over confusion, faith over fear. It is not just a word, it is a moment of alignment, a way of saying, I receive what is meant for me. You can also share something simple from your heart. A short phrase, a single intention, a truth you are ready to stand in. It could be, I choose clarity, or I release fear, or I am ready for truth. These words are not for others alone, they are for you, to remind you of the shift you are making within yourself. And as you see others doing the same, you begin to realize that you are part of a larger journey. A space where people are growing, healing, and learning to trust again. Connection replaces isolation. Support replaces silence. If you feel guided, you can also share this message with someone who may need it. Not because you are trying to convince them of anything, but because you recognize that clarity and encouragement are meant to be shared. Sometimes, the very message that found you is also meant to reach someone else through you. And if you wish to continue receiving guidance like this, you are welcome to stay connected. Not out of obligation, but because consistency creates space for growth. Each message builds on the last, helping you stay grounded as things continue to unfold in your life. This is not about pressure. It is about presence. It is about choosing to remain in a space that reminds you of who you are becoming, especially when things feel uncertain. So take a moment now, and respond in whatever way feels natural to you. Let your voice be part of this moment, even in a small way. Because what you are stepping into is not just clarity, it is connection. And as you stay connected, the next part will gently bring everything together, leaving you with a sense of peace and a deeper understanding of what is unfolding in your life. And now, as you come to the end of this moment, allow yourself to receive this blessing fully. My beloved child, may peace settle gently over your heart, replacing every restless thought that once kept you searching for answers. May clarity find you in the quiet, not as something forced, but as something that arrives naturally, exactly when you are ready to receive it. You have walked through confusion, through waiting, through questions that did not always have immediate answers. And yet, you are still here. Still open, still willing, still choosing to understand rather than close your heart. That matters more than you realize. Remember what has been revealed to you. Not every delay was denial. Some of it was protection, guiding you away from what was not yet ready and preparing you for something more stable. What felt like silence was not always absence. What felt like distance was not always rejection. You have also seen your role in this. Your choice to release fear, to step into alignment, to create boundaries that protect your peace. This is where your strength has been growing, even in moments when you felt uncertain. And now, as things begin to shift, you are no longer standing in the same place you were before. You are more aware, more grounded, more connected to your own truth. Whether the answers come quickly or unfold gradually, you are no longer lost within the waiting. So receive this blessing now. May your heart be guarded with peace. May your mind be cleared of confusion. May your path be guided with truth, even when it reveals itself in quiet ways. Trust that what is meant for you is not being taken from you. Trust that what is aligned will move toward clarity, not away from it. And trust that even when you cannot see the full picture, something is still unfolding on your behalf. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not walking through this alone. And as you continue forward, remain open, remain steady, remain aligned with the peace you have begun to feel. Because this is not the end of your guidance. There is more that will be revealed, more clarity that is still forming, more understanding that will come at the right time. So stay close, stay present, and be ready. Because what comes next will begin to show you the next step you are meant to take.